She kissed me in front of everyone. 2 weeks later, I discovered it was all a lie. Okay, so I need to tell you about the most insane, most heartbreaking, but also the most beautiful thing that's ever happened to me. And I mean, absolutely insane. This story has everything: rivalry, secret gifts, betrayal, and a love that I never saw coming. Before we get into the story, comment where you're watching from and rate this story on a scale of 1 to 10. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you won't miss my next story. So, let me start from the beginning. So, that's Isabella Ashford. Yes, the Ashfords, the family that owns half the city. Rich, talented, gorgeous, and completely insufferable. Every competition, it's the same thing. She wins first place with her designer everything and her private choreographer. I get second place with my thrift store fits and YouTube tutorials. Every single time. And it's always close, like painfully close. Close enough that I know I could beat her if I had half the resources she does. But I never do. And she acts like I'm beneath her, never smiles at me, never acknowledges me except to look me up and down like I'm dirt on her custom Balenciaga sneakers. She rolls up to competitions in a chauffeur-driven car while I'm taking 2 buses to get there. So yeah, I practice constantly, obsessively, in my tiny apartment, in the college studio when it's empty, anywhere I can. I'm going to beat Isabella Ashford if it kills me. But then, 3 months ago, something weird started happening. I found a gift in my locker at the competition venue, a brand new pair of limited edition dance sneakers, the ones I'd been saving up for months to buy. There was no card, no name, just a small note that said, "Your footwork deserves the best." I looked around, trying to figure out who left it, but the hallway was empty. It definitely wasn't Isabella. She probably didn't even know I existed beyond being that girl who always loses to me. 2 weeks later, another gift. This time, it was a professional-grade knee brace, the expensive kind that actually works. I'd been dancing through knee pain for weeks, trying to hide my limp. The note said, "I noticed. Please take care of yourself." Someone was watching me. Really watching me. I told my roommate Casey about it. She was obsessed. "Ava, you have a secret admirer. This is literally like a movie." My other friend, Derek, was more suspicious. What if someone's trying to mess with you, like psychological warfare before competitions? But the gifts kept coming. A custom choreography journal, high-end athletic tape, a gift card to the physical therapy clinic near campus. Each gift showed someone who really understood what I needed, what I struggled with. I was determined to figure out who was leaving these gifts. At the next competition, I arrived super early. I was going to stake out my locker and catch whoever it was. I went to the practice studio to warm up. I was alone. I put on my music and just let go. When I dance, everything else disappears. All the stress about tuition, about my part-time job, about always being second place. It's just me and the music and movement. It's the only time I feel completely free. I finished my routine and just stood there for a moment, breathing hard, coming back to reality. And then I heard it, slow clapping, coming from the doorway. I spun around and there she was, Isabella Ashford, just standing there in the doorway, wearing an outfit that probably cost more than my rent, staring at me. And she looked different, not cold or dismissive. She looked amazed, like she'd seen something incredible. That was... She started, then stopped. Her usual confident voice was shaky. That was beautiful. Before I could respond, she seemed to realize what she'd said. Her face went red. She turned and practically ran. "Wait," I called, but she was already gone. I ran into the hallway, but Isabella had disappeared like she'd never been there. I went back to the practice room, completely confused. Why had Isabella Ashford been watching me? Why did she look at me like that? And why did she compliment my dancing? And then a thought hit me. A crazy, impossible thought. No way. I had to perform later that day. I tried to focus, but my mind kept replaying Isabella in that doorway. the look on her face, the way her voice shook when she spoke. When I started dancing, everything else faded away like it always does. This is what I lived for. This is who I was. And then I saw her, Isabella, sitting in the audience. Not in the VIP section where she usually sat with her friends. She was off to the side, alone, watching me with this intensity that made my heart race. The way she was looking at me, I'd never seen her look at anything like that, like I was something precious, something that mattered. I was so distracted by her gaze that I actually stumbled during a transition. I never stumbled. I recovered quickly and finished strong, but I knew that one mistake might cost me everything. Same result as always. First place, Isabella Ashford. Second place, Ava Martinez. That one stumble had cost me again. Everyone else had left. I just sat in the empty hallway trying not to cry. I was so tired. Tired of being second, tired of struggling, tired of competing against someone who had everything handed to her. And then I heard footsteps. Someone else was still there. Isabella. Of course it was Isabella. She stopped a few feet away. We just stared at each other. Neither of us knew what to say. I stood up. I wasn't going to let her see me broken. Isabella looked nervous. Actually nervous. I'd never seen her anything but perfectly composed and confident. She spoke first. Her voice was soft. "You should have won today." I was so shocked I couldn't respond. Isabella Ashford never talked to me, ever. And now she was saying I should have won? She continued, looking at the floor. "That stumble, it wasn't your fault. I distracted you. I'm sorry." I finally found my voice. "Why were you watching me in the practice room?" Isabella's hands were shaking. I'd never seen her anything but steady and perfect. She looked up at me, and her eyes, there were actual tears in them. "Because I can't help it," she whispered. "I can't stop watching you." My heart started pounding. Was she saying what I thought she was saying? Isabella reached into her designer bag and pulled out a small box, the same wrapping paper as all my gifts. She held it out to me. "It's been me, all of the gifts. I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable or if you think I'm some kind of creep." I took the box. Our fingers brushed and I felt electricity shoot up my arm. I opened it slowly. Inside was a delicate silver bracelet with tiny dancing figures as charms. It was beautiful, personal, expensive. I looked up at her, speechless. Isabella started talking fast, words tumbling out like a dam breaking. "I know you probably hate me. I know I've been awful to you, cold and dismissive and acting like you don't matter when you're literally the most talented dancer I've ever seen, and She stopped abruptly, took a shaky breath. "Every time you dance, I fall a little more in love with you, and it terrifies me." In love with me? Isabella Ashford was in love with me? When I didn't respond, Isabella panicked. She started backing away. "God, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. Please just forget. Without thinking, I grabbed her wrist. I couldn't let her leave. Not now. I pulled her back, close enough that I could see every detail of her face, the tears on her cheeks, the fear in her eyes, the vulnerability I'd never seen before. "I don't hate you," I said. She looked at me like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. You don't?" I shook my head. "I thought you hated me. You never talked to me. You looked at me like I was nothing." Isabella let out a broken laugh. "I was terrified of you. You're so real when you dance, so passionate and alive. I didn't know how to be around you without making a fool of myself." We just stood there, looking at each other, both crying, both realizing we'd been complete idiots. "The gifts," I said softly, "they meant everything to me. I kept looking at them, wondering who could possibly care that much." Isabella's eyes filled with hope, real hope. "Really?" I nodded, stepping closer. "And I think I've been falling for the person who left them. I just didn't know it was you." Isabella reached out slowly, like she was approaching something fragile. Her hand hovered near my face, uncertain. I leaned into her touch. It felt like coming home. She cupped my face with both hands, so gentle it almost hurt, like she thought I might disappear. "Can I kiss you?" she whispered. I couldn't speak. I just nodded. And then she kissed me, soft and sweet and perfect, like everything I'd been feeling for months. The frustration, the competition, the confusion, all of it melted away. We pulled back just enough to breathe, our foreheads pressed together. Neither of us wanted to let go. "I'm sorry I wasted so much time being afraid," Isabella whispered. I opened my eyes and looked at her. We both were, but we're here now. She laughed softly. "My rival. Of all people, I fell in love with my rival." I smiled. "I prefer to think of us as equals who push each other to be better." Her face went soft. "You do make me better. Every time I watch you dance, I want to be worthy of sharing the stage with you." My eyes filled with tears again. "Isabella, you're already worthy. You're incredible." She shook her head. "I'm technically proficient, but you make people feel. That's worth more than any trophy." We stood there for a long moment, just holding each other. Everything had changed in the span of 20 minutes. "When did you start having feelings for me?" I had to know. Isabella looked up, remembering. "The very first competition, 10 months ago, you danced to that Kendrick Lamar piece." I remember that day. I'd been so nervous. It was my first college-level competition. "You were so fierce, so powerful and unapologetic. I thought you were the most magnificent thing I'd ever seen." I smiled. "I watched you too. I told myself it was to study my competition, but—" She leaned in closer. "But?" I blushed. "But I think I was watching because you're mesmerizing, even when I thought you hated me." Isabella lifted my hand and kissed my knuckles. It was so romantic, I thought I might melt. "You can't just do things like that," I said, completely flustered. She smiled, almost teasing. "Why not? We're together now, aren't we?" My face broke into the biggest smile. Yes, we are." Isabella laughed, pure relief in the sound. "I've wanted this for 10 months. I can't believe it's real." We both laughed. It was surreal. This morning we were rivals. Now we were this. "What happens now?" I asked, "with the competitions?" Isabella thought about it. "We keep competing, keep pushing each other, but now," she smiled, "now I get to kiss you after." I loved that answer. I leaned my head on her shoulder. She rested her head on mine. We sat there for probably an hour. Neither of us wanted to leave this moment, this perfect, impossible moment. Eventually, Isabella's phone buzzed. She checked it reluctantly and sighed. "I have to go. My driver's been waiting." I lifted my head, trying to hide my disappointment. Yeah, I should catch my bus. But neither of us let go. Neither of us moved. Isabella's face lit up. "Tomorrow? Can I see you tomorrow?" I nodded fast. "Yes, we could get coffee or—" She laughed and put her finger to my lips. "Anything, as long as I'm with you." I kissed her finger playfully. The surprised look on her face was worth it. We finally stood up, but we still didn't let go of each other's hands. We walked toward the exit together as slowly as humanly possible. We reached the door. This was where we had to say goodbye. Isabella pulled me close, wrapping her arms around me. I fit perfectly against her, breathing in her expensive perfume. We held each other for a long moment. I didn't want to let go. She whispered in my ear, "Thank you for not running away when I confessed." I pulled back just enough to see her face. "Thank you for being brave enough to confess." We kissed again, longer this time, deeper, like we were trying to make up for 10 months of not being able to do this. We pulled apart just enough to breathe, both breathless, both smiling like idiots. "Tomorrow," she whispered. "I'll text you tonight." I nodded. "I'll be waiting." Our hands separated slowly. It felt like losing something important. Isabella walked backwards toward the parking lot, not looking away from me. I stood in the doorway watching her go, waving like a lovesick idiot. She stopped by the sleek black car and blew me a kiss. My heart did a somersault. I caught it and pressed my hand to my heart. I was definitely in love with this girl. She got in the car and waved one last time. Then she was gone. I stood there alone, but I wasn't sad. I was the happiest I'd been in months. I looked at the bracelet on my wrist, the tiny dancers catching the light. I walked to the bus stop feeling like I was floating. This morning, I hated Isabella Ashford. Tonight, I was in love with her. My phone buzzed before I even made it to the bus stop, a text from an unknown number. I miss you already. Is that too much? I don't care. I miss you. Isabella. I couldn't stop smiling. I saved her number and typed back immediately. Not too much at all. I miss you too. Thank you for everything. Her response was instant. Thank you for giving me a chance. Sweet dreams, Ava. I'll be dreaming of you. I held my phone to my chest, grinning like an absolute fool. The bus ride home had never felt shorter. That was 3 months ago. 3 months since everything changed. Now, competitions look completely different for us. Before performances, Isabella helps me warm up. She knows exactly how to calm my nerves. She kisses my forehead and tells me I'm going to be incredible, and I believe her. I kiss her for luck. We don't hide anymore. Everyone knows we're together. When I perform, Isabella watches from the wings, always watching, always supporting. And on my left wrist, there's something new that makes me smile every time I see it. The bracelet she gave me that day. Isabella has a matching one. We're not engaged or anything, but these bracelets, they're our promise. A promise of forever. I finish my routine and look for her immediately. She's always the first person I want to see. Isabella's crying. Happy tears. She's so proud she's crying. I bow for the judges and audience, but I blow a kiss toward the wings. Our little secret in plain sight. The results come in. Isabella wins first place. Again. I get second, just like always. But now I'm genuinely happy for her. She earned it. She was incredible. She runs up to me right there in front of everyone and kisses me. We don't hide our love anymore. You should have won, she tells me. You're biased, I tell her. We both laugh. We walk out hand in hand. We're still rivals on stage, but off stage, we're partners. After every competition, we go to our favorite cafe. Same table, same order, same comfortable silence. She feeds me cake. I pretend to hate how sweet she is, but I love it. We look at photos on our phone, our first official date, our first kiss, 3 months of memories already. Out of nowhere, Isabella says, I'm going to marry you someday. I nearly choke on my coffee, but I'm smiling because I know she means it. I'm going to marry you too, I tell her, right after I finally beat you at a competition. We laugh. Some things never change. We're still competitive, still pushing each other, but now we're competing together, not against each other. Now we practice together. Isabella comes over to my tiny apartment most nights. My roommate, Casey, has basically adopted her. We choreograph duets. 2 dancers, 2 hearts, 1 rhythm. I still make mistakes sometimes, but now I can laugh about them. Isabella just kisses my head and tells me to try again. No judgment, just support. We try again. This time, it's perfect. We're perfect together. We finish and just look at each other, smiling. This is my favorite part of the day. We end most nights on my secondhand couch. She plays with my hair. I fall asleep to her heartbeat. Sometimes I wake up just enough to see her watching me, like she still can't believe this is real. I kept every note that came with every gift. They're in a box under my bed now. My treasure. So yeah, my rich rival kept leaving me secret gifts. Turns out she wasn't my rival at all. She was my future. Sometimes the person pushing you to be better isn't your enemy. They're your soulmate. And sometimes the scariest thing, being vulnerable, being honest, taking that leap, leads to the most beautiful thing you'll ever have. But wait, I need to tell you something else. Something I found out 2 months ago that almost destroyed everything. I was at Isabella's penthouse apartment for the first time. It was massive, overwhelming, a reminder of how different our worlds were. She was in the kitchen making us food, trying to anyway. Isabella Ashford did not know how to cook. It was adorable. I was looking at photos on her bookshelf when I heard voices. Her balcony door was open and voices were drifting in from outside. I recognized them. Camila Prescott and Jade Morrison. Isabella's friends from her old private dance academy, the ones she'd been distant from lately. I still can't believe she actually caught feelings, Camila's voice said. The dare was supposed to be funny. I froze. Right? Jade laughed. We bet her she couldn't make that scholarship girl fall for her in 2 months. It was supposed to be impossible. Isabella Ashford slumming it with someone who takes the bus. My heart stopped. And when she couldn't do it in time, the dare was to make it public, ask her out in front of everyone at competition. We were going to film the whole thing. But then Isabella actually fell for her, Camila said. She went soft, buying her all those gifts with her own money. It's pathetic. She chose that girl over us, Jade added, over her own social circle. For what? Some nobody who will never be able to afford Isabella's world anyway? I couldn't breathe. It was a dare. All of it. The gifts, the confession, everything. Isabella had been dared to make me fall in love with her. Ladies, Isabella's voice cut through, ice cold. She'd come out onto the balcony. Get out of my house. Bella, we were just, get out now, or I'll have security remove you. I heard movement, protests, then the front door slamming. I was still standing there, frozen, when Isabella came back inside. She saw me, saw my face, and she knew. Ava? Was it a dare? Was I a dare? Isabella's face crumbled. Yes, at first. But Ava, please. I stepped back. At first? So what, you decided to actually go through with it? String me along? No. Tears were streaming down her face. I stopped the dare. She was crying, actually crying. I was supposed to make you fall for me in 2 months as a joke, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't play with your feelings like that, because I was falling for you. So you just kept lying to me instead. I stopped the dare. Isabella was crying now, actually crying. I told them I was out. That's why they wanted me to ask you out publicly, to humiliate both of us, because I refused. I chose you over them. You chose me? I laughed, but it sounded broken. You were never going to tell me. You were just going to let me believe this was real. It is real. Isabella grabbed my hands. I pulled away. Ava, everything I feel for you is real. The dare was 3 months ago. For the past 3 months, everything has been real. How am I supposed to believe that? I was crying now, too. How do I know any of it was real? The gifts, the confession, or was it all just part of the game? Please, Isabella begged, please let me explain. Let me prove it to you. I need to go. I moved toward the door. Ava, please! Isabella followed me. I love you. I'm in love with you. That's real. You have to believe me. I stopped at the door, turned back, hope and fear warring on her face. You know what the worst part is? I actually believed someone like you could love someone like me. Isabella's face went white. Someone like me? Ava, you're... Save it. I opened the door. We're done, Isabella. I left. I walked out of that penthouse, took the elevator down, and walked for hours through the city, crying, angry, heartbroken. I blocked her number, blocked her on everything. The next competition was in 3 days. I almost didn't go, but I'd worked hard to let her take that from me, too. I showed up early, went straight to the practice room, didn't look for her. But I felt when she arrived. You always know when the person you love is near, even when you wish you didn't. I avoided her, refused to make eye contact. I performed, poured all my heartbreak and anger into my routine. It was the best I'd ever danced. Raw, honest, painful. I took first place. For the first time ever, I beat Isabella Ashford. And I felt nothing. No joy, no satisfaction, just emptiness. Isabella took second. When they announced her name, I finally looked at her. She looked destroyed. Her eyes were red and swollen. She'd been crying. Good, I thought. But it didn't make me feel better. I was packing up to leave when she appeared. I knew she would. "Congratulations," she said quietly. "You were incredible." I didn't respond. "Ava, please, can we talk?" "There's nothing to talk about." "There's everything to talk about." Her voice broke. "Please, 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking." I should have said no, should have walked away. But I didn't. "5 minutes," I said coldly. "Then I never want to see you again." We went into an empty studio. Isabella closed the door. She didn't waste time. "You're right. I should have told you about the dare from the beginning. I was a coward. I was afraid you'd never give me a chance if you knew." I crossed my arms. "You're right. I wouldn't have." The dare was wrong, cruel. I was cruel. Isabella's voice was shaking. "My friends dared me because they thought you were an easy target, someone beneath me, someone I could manipulate and humiliate." Each word was a knife. "But then I couldn't do it," she continued. "I went to that first practice room to watch you, like the dare said, to start building trust so I could break it later. But then you danced." She looked at me with those eyes I'd fallen in love with. "And I realized I didn't want to hurt you. I wanted to know you, really know you. So I started leaving gifts instead. Not for the dare, for me, because I wanted to see you happy." "How convenient," I said bitterly. "I told Camila and Jade I was done with the dare 7 months ago. They were furious, said I was weak, that I was throwing away my reputation for someone who would never fit in my world. And they were right. You don't fit in my world. My world is shallow and fake and cruel. But you're real. You're passionate and genuine and kind. And I'd rather have 5 minutes of real with you than a lifetime of fake with them." I wanted to stay angry. I wanted to hate her. But I could see it, the truth in her eyes, the pain, the regret. "I cut them off completely," Isabella said. "Blocked their numbers, ended those friendships. My parents are furious because their parents are business associates. But I don't care. I don't want friends who would dare me to hurt someone, who would mock you, who would mock us." She pulled out her phone, showed me screenshots, messages where she told Camila and Jade she was done with them, where she called them out for their cruelty. "I told my parents about you, about us. They wanted me to end it, said you weren't suitable, that I should be with someone from our social class." Isabella looked at me, really looked at me. "And I told them that if they couldn't accept you, they couldn't accept me, because you're not separate from me anymore. You're part of my heart." Tears were streaming down my face now. "I know I messed up," Isabella whispered. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But Ava, everything I feel for you is real. The way my heart races when I see you. The way I can't focus on anything but you when you dance. The way I dream about our future together. That's all real." She pulled something from her bag. A letter. Pages and pages. "I wrote this. Everything I should have told you from the beginning. Every moment I fell more in love with you. Every time I chose you over them. It's all here. You don't have to read it now, or ever, but I needed you to have it." She held it out. I took it. "I love you, Ava Martinez. I'm in love with you, and I'll spend the rest of my life proving that to you if you'll let me. But if you can't forgive me, I understand. I'll stay away, I'll switch to different competitions, whatever you need." She started to leave. "Wait," I said. She stopped, turned back, hope and fear warring on her face. "Your friends, when they made that dare, what exactly did they say?" Isabella hesitated. They said someone like me could never actually care about someone like you, that I was too good for you, that it would be funny to make you believe I could love you, then crush you." I closed my eyes. "And the public ask out, what was that supposed to be?" "They wanted me to ask you out in front of everyone at competition, make this big romantic gesture, get you to say yes, then reveal it was all a joke, film your reaction, post it online." Her voice was hollow. "They wanted to humiliate both of us, you for believing it, and me for stooping so low. The cruelty of it took my breath away." "But you didn't do it." "I couldn't," Isabella's voice broke. By then, I was already in love with you. The thought of hurting you made me sick, so I ended the friendship instead." I looked at her, really looked at her, at the dark circles under her eyes, the way her hands shook, the genuine anguish on her face. "Read the letter," she whispered. "Please, then decide." She left. I stood there, alone in that practice room, holding the letter. I almost threw it away, almost walked out and never looked back. But I couldn't. I sat down and started reading. The letter was 20 pages long, handwritten, her perfect handwriting messier than usual, like she'd been crying while writing it. It started with the dare. She didn't spare herself. She detailed everything, how her friends had laughed about me, how they'd planned the whole cruel joke, how Isabella had initially agreed because she was too much of a coward to stand up to them. But then it shifted. The first time she saw me dance, how it made her feel, how she went home that night and couldn't stop thinking about me. The moment she decided to end the dare, it was after the second competition. She'd been watching me celebrate second place with Casey and Derek, so happy despite losing, and she realized she didn't want to hurt me. She wanted to be the reason I smiled. Every gift was documented, why she chose it, what she was thinking. The knee brace. I noticed she was limping. I spent 3 hours researching the best brands. I wanted to take care of her even though she didn't know it was me. The choreography journal. She writes down ideas on scraps of paper. I wanted her to have something beautiful to hold her beautiful thoughts. Pages after pages of moments, times she almost confessed, times she stopped herself out of fear, times she chose me over her friends, over her parents' approval, over her entire social circle. The last page destroyed me. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. I know I hurt you in the worst possible way. But Ava, loving you has made me a better person. You taught me what real connection feels like, what genuine care looks like, what it means to love someone for who they are, not what they can give you. I was raised to see people as transactions, as tools, as beneath me. But you made me want to be someone worthy of your love, someone honest, someone brave, someone real. If you can't forgive me, I understand, but please know that loving you, even from afar, even in silence, has been the greatest honor of my life. You deserve someone who loved you from the start with no complications. I'm sorry I can't be that, but I can promise that from the moment I truly saw you, I've loved you with everything I have. Forever yours, even if you're no longer mine. Isabella. I was sobbing by the end, huge, gasping sobs that shook my whole body. She'd been wrong. So wrong. She should have told me from the beginning. But she'd also been honest now, brutally, painfully honest, and she'd given up everything for me. Her friends, her social standing, her parents' approval. I pulled out my phone, unblocked her number. She'd sent one message hours ago. "I love you. I'm sorry." That's all I wanted to say. I typed, "Where are you?" The response was immediate. "Home. Why?" Me. "Stay there. I'm coming over." I took a bus, then 2 trains to get to her building. The doorman remembered me, let me up. I knocked on her penthouse door. Isabella opened it. She was shocked. "Ava? What?" I held up the letter. 20 pages. "I know, I'm sorry, I just had so much to—" "You gave up your friends for me." She nodded. "They weren't really friends anyway." "You stood up to your parents for me." Another nod. "They'll come around eventually, or they won't. It doesn't matter." "You love me." It wasn't a question. More than anything. Her voice was steady now, sure. I stepped forward. "You hurt me. What you did, agreeing to that dare in the first place, it was cruel. I know, I'm so sorry. But you also chose me, over and over, even when it cost you everything." Tears started falling down her face again. "I'd choose you every time." I reached up and wiped her tears away. "I'm not saying everything is perfect now. I'm not saying I'm still not hurt, because I am." She nodded, not looking away from me. "But I believe that you love me, and I believe you're sorry, and I believe people can change." Hope bloomed on her face. Ava? I need time, I said. I need you to be patient with me. There are going to be moments where I doubt, where I wonder if it's real, where I'm scared. I'll wait, Isabella said immediately. I'll be patient. I'll prove it to you every single day. I took a shaky breath. And I need you to promise me something. Anything. Promise me no more lies, no more secrets. If something happens, if you mess up, if anything comes up about your past or your family or whatever, you tell me immediately. I promise, she grabbed my hands. Complete honesty, always, no matter what. I looked at our joined hands, then up at her face. Okay, I said softly. Her eyes widened. Okay? Okay, we can try again. Slowly, but we try. Isabella let out a sob and pulled me into her arms. I let her hold me. I held her back. I love you, she whispered into my hair. I love you so much. I love you too, I admitted, even though I'm still mad at you. She laughed through her tears. You have every right to be mad at me. We stood there in her doorway, holding each other, crying, starting over. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't a fairy tale ending where everything was instantly fixed, but it was real, and that was enough. That was 6 months ago. 6 months of rebuilding, of learning to trust again, of Isabella proving every single day that she chose me. She kept her promise, complete honesty, no matter what. When her parents threatened to cut her off financially if she didn't break up with me, she told me immediately. We figured it out together. She got a part-time job, her first job ever, working retail at a dance supply store. I've never been more proud of anyone in my life. When one of her old friends tried to spread rumors about us online, Isabella didn't hide it from me. She showed me the messages, then publicly defended me, defended us. When she had doubts, when she was scared, when she messed up, she told me, every time. And slowly, piece by piece, I learned to trust her again. Now we're stronger than ever. I'm lying on her couch right now. She's playing with my hair. We just finished practicing a duet for next month's competition. Hey, she says softly. I look up at her. Hey, what? She's looking at me with that expression, the one that still makes my heart race. I sit up and cup her face in my hands. I'm really glad you gave me a second chance. I sit up and cup her face in my hands. I'm glad you fought for us. She leans in and kisses me, soft and sweet and full of promise. We pull back and she's smiling. Want to know something? Always. I don't care if I ever win first place again, as long as I have you. Okay, that's too far. We're still competitive, remember? She grins. Okay, fine. I want to win, but having you matters more. Better, I say, kissing her again. We've both grown so much. Isabella learned what real love looks like, what genuine connection feels like, what it means to choose someone every single day. And I learned that people can change, that second chances can be worth it, that love isn't about perfection, it's about choosing each other, even when it's hard. We still compete, we still push each other. Sometimes she wins, sometimes I win, but now we celebrate together no matter what. Last week, Isabella's parents finally reached out. They want to meet me, properly this time. Isabella asked me if I was ready, if I wanted to. I said yes, because I'm not afraid anymore, and neither is she. We're in this together. Tomorrow, we have another competition we've been practicing for weeks. Isabella thinks she's going to win. I think I'm going to win. We bet on it. Loser buys dinner. But honestly, we both already won, because at the end of the day, we have each other, and that's worth more than any first place trophy. So yeah, my rich rival left me secret gifts. It started as a cruel dare, but it turned into the greatest love story of my life. Sometimes the worst beginnings lead to the best endings. Sometimes people surprise you. They grow, they change, they become better. Sometimes forgiveness is the bravest thing you can do. And sometimes the person who hurt you can also be the person who loves you most in the world. This is our story. It's messy and complicated and real, and I wouldn't change a single thing. Well, maybe I'd skip the part where I cried for 3 days straight. That wasn't fun, but everything else, perfect. Isabella just kissed my forehead. "What are you smiling about?" she asks. "You," I tell her. "Always you." She blushes. Even after all this time, I can still make her blush. "I love you, Ava Martinez," she whispers. "I love you too, Isabella Ashford," I whisper back. And I mean it with my whole heart. So if you've ever been hurt by someone you love, know this. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean what they did was okay. It means choosing to move forward together, choosing to build something new from the broken pieces. And if you're the person who messed up, own it. Be honest. Be patient. Prove through your actions that you've changed. Don't just say you're sorry. Show it every single day. Love is work. Real love is messy and hard and complicated, but it's also the most beautiful thing in the world. Have you ever given someone a second chance? Or been given one? Share your story in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. Love you all. Thanks for listening to my story. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a competition to win tomorrow and a girlfriend to kiss. Not necessarily in that order.